What is up, guys? Welcome to the Underdog Talk, the world's most underrated podcast on earth. Today we have the biggest quarterback, aka Jamarcus Russell. What is up, big fella? How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. What's up with you?
I'm doing better that I'm talking to you. Stogie's out, I see. I love it. And,
Yeah.
only way to do it now, Jamarcus, I got to dive right in. February 2003. National Signing Day. I know this is bringing back some memories. You committed to LSU
Right.
over Florida State University.
I
Now,
did. I did.
now, I'm sure all the Tiger fans were happy as hell. Why LSU over FSU?
Growing up, I was a real big fan of Florida State.
Oh,
It was a school that I wanted to attend, but once it came to my visits, the coaches, the players, and Baton Rouge is let's say 30 to 45 minutes closer than Tallahassee. So all that came into play.
and obviously it paid off by the fall of the 2005 season. I mean, you, sir, were the starting quarterback. What were the emotions of being a starting quarterback for one of the best football programs in the nation and growing up as a kid, watching the Tigers, watching them play? What was the emotions of being the man on campus?
Well, actually, 2004, I shared time with Marcus Randall. He was a guy that had been there for 5 years, and he was a fifth-year senior at the time. But we shared a little time then, so I learned a lot from Marcus. Just by watching his practices. Having mental reps. By myself coaching today, I coach at Williamson High School, the high school that I attended. I coach in the community, but I said that to say this: when you teach kids or tell kids about mental reps, you may not be on the field getting reps, or you may not be in there, but if I can watch my guys see what his mistakes are and learn from them, it'll be better. So the time that I spent behind Marcus Randall helped me out a lot.
100%. And you played 36 games at LSU. And obviously, the big day, too, was January 10th, 2007. I mean, you stated that you had decided to skip your final season of NCAA eligibility, and you're entering the 2007 NFL draft. I mean, how surreal did it feel at this point that your chances of playing in the NFL were getting more and more real at this point?
Excuse me. At the time, man, to be honest, going to the NFL at the time wasn't on my mind.
Hmm.
Um, the guys that I came into school with, they was all graduating and leaving, so I kind of felt like, man, who's going to be around to throw the ball to? I had Dwayne Bowe, he was
Yep.
leaving. Buster Davis, he was leaving. I had Erda Doucette, he stayed, and we had Brandon LaFell. So that was two guys. I was used to throwing to 3 or 4 different guys. We had some recruits that come in from junior college, but at the time I didn't know, so it was like kind of should or should I not, and I decided to go.
And go you did. Now, looking back at your college career at LSU, what were the most valuable lessons you learned that prepared you for the NFL, Jamarcus?
As a freshman on up, man, just knowing that try to keep the main thing the main thing. We all have lives that have different turns and torques in them. Everybody go from A to B to C in a different way. So my thing was is to just keep my nose clean and try to stay forward and grind it out because of the people we saw that was before us that came to LSU. You had guys coming back: Michael Clayton, Marcus Spears, um, Corey Webster, Travis Daniels, Joseph Adai. Guys that I played with, and even guys before Ryan Clark, just to name a few. And it just shows you what LSU was all about, mainly.
Yeah, the culture at LSU is just picked up since then. Obviously, with Burrow leading them to the ships, and just the legacy that's been there since you've been there, and all the other greats. And obviously, the Raiders pick you with the first overall pick in the draft. First reaction was what?
Well, actually, it kind of took the first reaction away. Well, I didn't say they take it away. They took it. well, I didn't on TV. You didn't see no reaction when I was drafted because I already knew on the ride over there. I'm the only one in the building that knew. They called me actually when I got on the bus, headed to Radio City. Got a phone call and I was holding it in, so it was I was keeping a secret from everybody because I kind of knew then.
That must be the biggest secret in the world.
It was because, man, my mom was sitting at the table. She was all nervous. Like, I'm like, what are you nervous for? Like, no matter what number we get drafted or picked, we're still going to the NFL. Like, our life's going to be changed either way. So when I text her across from the table right before they done it, she just started crying. My grandmother was trying to figure out what was wrong with her, but she had already knew.
Wow. And, you played 3 seasons with the Raiders, but at the end of the day, football is just a sport. So I want to ask, what did you learn about yourself as a human being while playing in the National Football League?
That I'm still human. I still have feelings. That you still things happen. They don't go the way we would want them to all the time, but I'm a fighter. I never give up. I'm kicking and winning in life. Thanks to God and Mr. Davis and his family, that things are great, and I'm grateful for it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not asking for anything but forgiveness for my sins. Other than that, man, I'm thankful for life and thankful for everything.
Hey, Jamarcus, life's about ups and downs, sir. And, let's be real, life ain't easy, and that's just real talk. Now, how did you maintain your motivation and mindset during the difficult times in your career, whether that be from high school to college to the NFL?
Well, at the time when difficult times are going on, it seems like you don't notice, unless you've been in a lot of difficult times. But thank God, I've been fortunate to have some difficult times, and throughout those times, I look for family and God. Family first in my life. Besides God, other than that, that's really who be having your back, unless you have a friend that's like family to you.
Now, I want to go back to that first pick in the draft. I don't think people in this world can understand the pressure that comes being a professional athlete, and even more so being the first pick in the draft. How is the pressure different in the NFL versus college, or if there was different pressure at all?
Excuse me. I didn't really see the pressure until like my second year, third year. Because of my first year, it was really business that stood in the way. The fact that I didn't enter training camp until the first week of the regular season and not training camp time, it was business on their behalf. And that's the bad part about it. That NFL is a sport that we love, that we cherish a lot, but it's a business. And, we had to make some business deals and business decisions that I think should have been taken care of a little earlier. So after that, it was like I was a rookie in my second year, so I was still learning different coordinators, different coaches. Nothing was stable, so it was a bit much, but it's nothing to complain about. A lot of the other guys had to go through a similar situation, but when it comes to mine, that's just how it went.
And it kind of gets me thinking, and sometimes the hardest things in life are really just nothing compared to what other people are going through. And it kind of reminds me of the NFL is just a sport. At the end of the day, it's so much more than life. But life is so much more than just football. So how did you transition from going on as an NFL player to regular life, Jamarcus?
Um, it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard because just think about you're traveling a lot, you're doing a lot, you're here and there, and when you're not playing the game, I like being a regular guy. I like being a regular guy. When they say celebrity, Jamarcus Russell, I kind of turn the other way. I don't feel as if I'm a celebrity. Like that's not how I carry myself. I carry myself like a regular Joe because that's just how I feel about the guys in the NFL. They are regular Joes. They just so happen to play football, get paid well for it to be on TV. So like I said, I just try to carry myself like that, and I'm not trying to be better than nobody else. I'm not trying to be better than this person, that person. I'm just being Jamarcus, the guy that I know how to be.
I love it. And, obviously, can you tell us about any new ventures or projects you're currently involved in? I saw you were at a fashion show a few days ago. I mean,
I was. Mr. Miguel Wilson, shouts out to him. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. He has a storefront in Phipps Plaza where he does suits. He does tuxedos. He does it all. He does clothes for female, for women. But it's top of the line, top notch. He has a fashion show, Atlanta Polo Classic and Fashion Weekend. This was the 6th annual, and I was fortunate enough to get invited and as a guest celebrity model.
boom. Isn't that crazy how life sometimes works itself out, Jamarcus? Now, what is your biggest tip for someone who is looking to make it into the NFL like you once were, sir?
The thing is now, you have to do extra. No matter if you think it's enough, do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. At the times when no one is around, no one is looking, that's when you become the better you.
Now,
Growing up in our time, my time, I know it seems like a long time, only 38, but back then we knew to work hard and work out, but not as much as I would say we needed to or need to be a professional athlete. Your body goes through a lot of bangs and some you don't even know about or don't even remember, but being in shape is the most important thing, in being a professional athlete. It helps your body when you don't think it helps. It helps you endure, more. So if you think you're working hard, working harder than that, yo. That's all I can say.
I like that. If you think you're working hard, work harder than that. Now,
And
while
then
you're
another thing, they taught us to practice. So, we practice till we get it right.
yeah.
The thing is to practice so you don't get it wrong.
Ooh,
Right?
Jamarcus Russell spitting out here today. I love it.
That's what we was taught back then, but it's a difference. Just think, it's a difference. You got to keep practicing so you get it right. That means you don't know it. So if you keep practicing so you don't get it wrong, that means you do know it, and then you're going through it a lot different. Dealing with high school kids these days, it's different, man. I swear it's a different thing. Stuff that we're dealing with as coaches now. Like you have some kids that really wants it, that wants to get to the next level, that wants out, that live in a impoverished area. Some of them want out, but some of them really don't see the seriousness of it to be able to make it out. You got to think, we in one state, in one city, it's a whole bunch of other kids in your grade, your age, doing the same thing. So how are you going to set yourself aside from the rest of them?
Yeah.
Even in the pros, even in college, how are you going to set yourself aside,
How bad do you want it? And this is the Underdog Talk, and there's something about the underdog. Now, while you were a first-round pick, the first pick in the draft, what was your underdog moment, Jamarcus? Where was that moment where you felt like you were the underdog and the world was against you?
The entire time I was in Oakland.
Wow.
Really, the entire time I was in Oakland, bro. I was used to winning, and when you have the first pick, unfortunately, you are like the worst team,
Yeah.
And at that time, things in my life and football just didn't line up as far as me being the better person that I can be and the better version of me. Looking back at, having chances to sit behind a guy or be behind a guy or have a guy that's there able to talk to be able to, don't want to say hold your hand, but NFL is different. It's different from college. It's something that you need to know about. Film, how to watch film, what exactly are you looking for? Like in college, you sit there and watch film with your coach, like he explains. So you see what he got the eye for, but sitting watching yourself, like it's a lot you have to learn and be a real professional, in your sport that I was missing. I was missing big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And, it's unfortunate that you got kind of thrown into there. And oftentimes we see some quarterbacks who really strive, have a couple years to sit behind that quarterback that you were talking about, kind of learn from them and grow from them. Like we're seeing Bryce Young, and no disrespect to Bryce Young, but I mean, he's getting thrown in there. And I mean, it's almost like he has no shot. And that's unfortunate. But I see what you're saying now. Are you still a Raiders fan, Jamarcus?
I try to be. I try to be in my heart. I love the Raiders, but it's like a relationship where we haven't come at ease yet. Like I think once I visit and talk to some people, sit down and really just get the feeling of okay, I did play here. It wasn't a lot of bad times. We had some good times too.
Yeah.
It was a lot of games where we were close. We just couldn't pull them off. I just had some relationships that wasn't the best, but they're no longer with the team. So it'll be different. My teammates, I still talk to a lot of those guys. So it started well, it just didn't end well.
And I had to share a story. I was talking to a real Raiders fan, a kid who die hard Raiders, die hard silver and black. And I was like, I got Jamarcus Russell coming on the podcast. He's like, it was a shame because everyone, is so upset at Jamarcus, but the real Raiders fans, it wasn't his fault. He got thrust into a position where it was kind of a lose-lose situation. I was like, wow. And, you really were into a situation where, but that's sometimes what life gives us. Sometimes life
just think after I left, I found out that the head coach that I was playing for didn't really want to pick me.
Yeah, I read that. And
like, how do you know what I mean? Like, it always was a weary feeling going to work, and I don't know if it's, was like some of those guys were used to losing. Some of those guys had losing attitudes, like, but like I say, we had fun. Like we had fun. It was a great experience. Say, like, I thank God for it, and I thank Mr. Davis for it. R.I.P. to him.
Yeah, yes, definitely one of the best to ever own a team. And I think it's interesting in life. We often wish we could kind of go back, but it's funny how everything makes us who we are today.
Right.
Right. The Jamarcus Russell that I'm talking to wouldn't be the same person. And you're full of blessings. You're full of, you're a humble human being. And I'm thrilled to be talking to you, man. And I do have to ask, what is your current thought process on the state of the NFL? Do you think the NFL is going in the right direction? Do you think it's going in the wrong direction?
I think the NFL becoming a bit, what word I want to use? I'm not sure, but as far as quarterbacks, like they're being soft. You can't even hit the guys anymore, bro. Like it's football, it's a contact sport, and I know they want to deal with the safetiness of it, but go play another sport, yo. Go play another sport. Not trying to downplay anything about the safety because it's bad for guys, afterwards. But this is how people feed their family.
Yeah.
This is the nature of it. And it's going to get faster and faster because guys are getting bigger, guys are getting faster. So, what more you expect,
Yeah. And Brian Urlacher, Hall of Famer, shout out to him, was on the podcast, said the same exact thing. And he's a defensive guy. So he's like, I'm not liking how this is going. And, you're the first quarterback who might actually admit that, hey, it's getting a little soft out there. I know most quarterbacks love it right now because they are kind of being protected and stuff like that. Now, I do have one final question for you, and that is,
I thought that used to be fun when a guy come and knock your ass off, and then you get up, pat him on his ass, and tell him good job. Like when is that not become a fun thing to do in football? You can't be the one you got to be able to embrace those leagues. A lot of the quarterbacks are becoming smaller and smaller and can't take that contact. So that's why I think they're easing up on those licks and those penalties. Like it make the difference between the game.
It does. It does when we see a defensive player fall on the quarterback and it's a flag. I'm like, come on now. How soft can this game be? It's not supposed to be a soft game. I mean, when you're going full speed at someone, you can't really control how you're falling. I
done took all type of licks to the face, to the head, and the ref sitting right there and look at me and look away. So, they ain't nothing to complain about it. Like I said, I always thought it was football. It's hard. You play football hard.
Cold showers and ice baths and good to go the next week, right, Jamarcus?
Right on to the next one. Right on.
On to the next one. Now, what is your biggest tip for life? What is your biggest tip for someone who's going through that hard time that you were going through maybe once? Something that you want people to know, that a life message, a life motivational quote. What would that be, Jamarcus?
Keep the faith, man. Keep pushing forward. Don't stoop away from what you're doing. If you know you're going for it, go for it. Don't tell nobody about what you got deep down because sometimes they'll try to take it and make it become theirs. Keep quiet about it. Give God all the glory. He's the one that's going to help you through it.
Amen to that, and amen to that. Now, Jamarcus, before we go, the floor is yours. Where can we find your social media? Anything you're working on? The floor is yours, big fella.
I'm not really a guy like that, but my social media is at the biggest QB. I serve my community, man. I help the youth. I coach in high school football because I feel that's where it starts. If I can help a kid, maybe from the park all the way to high school, and use my college connections to get them in the door, at least a look, that's a big thing for me. And that's what I've been doing for the last, since 2011, 2012. That's what I've been doing, and I'm going to keep doing it. That's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing stuff with the kids in the community. But I'm not a guy, like I said, I don't show all of it, but that's what I do.
Shout out the biggest QB. Guys, shout out Jamarcus Russell. Shout out the biggest QB. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Until next time, guys, the underdog and the biggest QB out.